Jai Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe. Namaskar and welcome to this English edition of Bharat Vichar. The name of the show is Global Insights and I'm your host and host, Sumit. Well, we take the name of Lord Sri Ganesha and do the Shubharamba. And the topic what we have is deal has collapsed. There are enough signals that the deal between America and Iran has collapsed. Trump is silent but roaring. What does he want to say? There's a rift within the Iran. There's a talk of a leaked letter, and it has a lot to do with the deal. Ceasefire is shaky. Pakistan is hit, and many more things are changing. Karachi has left. Trump is fuming, yet he is saying, "Oh, we are not lost. We are not going to travel so far to Pakistan." But there's a development. Karachi is going to circle back to Pakistan before he goes to Moscow. Now, what is Karachi going to do there? And what happened in Lebanon? What happened in Israel? What happened in the region around us? A lot of interesting developments, a lot of permutations and combinations. And most interesting thing is, are we looking at trouble? Are we looking at war knocking our doors? Are we looking at the worst of that? And what is going to be happening to Strait of Hormuz? What is going to happen to the blockade? And who is winning really? There are a lot of questions which need to be answered. And that is what I'm going to do in the next few minutes. So what I would like, our request to my friends is kindly like the video right now. That's very important. As you know, it's very important in YouTube. Kindly subscribe to all our channels. And every channel has a different program and connotations. And on the public demand, we also got the English program up and running. And you know what is the ethos of Bharat Vichar? Truth over TRP, vision over views. No compromise on Desh and Dharma. I take pride to show you this. Bharat Vichar portal, one of upcoming pieces of knowledge and intellect, 10 minutes of reading and glance through is going to be pretty useful. That's going to help you a lot. And if you want, you can support us through your Paytm, PayPal, and QR contributions. Thank you very much for that. Let's do the Shubharamba. Look, the deal is almost collapsed because Americans are really rattled because Trump announced this. What I'm going to show you this. Trump said this. I just cancelled the trip of my representatives going to Islamabad, Pakistan to meet the Iranians. Too much time wasted on traveling. Too much work. Besides which, there is a tremendous infighting and confusion within their leadership. Nobody knows who is in charge, including them. Also, we have all the cards. They have none. If they want to talk, let them. They have to call. So what is Trump doing? Trump is trying to leave a door open for them to come and talk. But what happened in Islamabad? After this, there are a couple of more developments which are right fresh from the oven, which we're bringing to you. Trump addressed the media and Trump said, look, we don't want our guys to fly to 16 or 18 hours and to do that. It's not exactly like that. Iranis refused to meet the Trump because the basics of the deal were not worked. So Karachi met Field Marshal Asim Munir. He met whom I call Mullah Munir, by the way, and he met what is his name? What is the name of that Pakistani Prime Minister? The small guy? Shahbaz Sharif. Yeah. Is he still the Prime Minister? Very interesting character. When I look at him, I suddenly, there's a great man which comes to my vision, Charlie Chaplin. But anyway, Shahbaz Sharif, yeah, and Field Marshal. Now what happened is Karachi met them. He spent 24 hours in Pakistan. He had a couple of guys traveling with him. There was a delegation traveling him. Finally, the things could not be done. But finally, when the Karachi was leaving and he was at the tarmac, then the Americans say, oh, we don't want the deal. Our deal is off. We are not interested. And, things are not working out. Let me not send the guys. Let them not travel for 16 and 18 hours. Trust me, that was not the case. Americans were waiting. They were literally looking for that phone call to come from Mullah Munir and to come from Mullah Shahbaz. But none of the calls came because the thing was, what is Iran willing to negotiate? Iran say, my window is this. Americans want this. Iranis, when they left, they came up with a very simple thing. Look, we don't want to start from the maximus position. We want a deal within our parameters. And what is the stumbling block? The stumbling block is Iran does not want to talk on the nuclear component. What is the American red line? There, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. Even after this whole fiasco went off, before Trump got into a plane, he was possibly traveling somewhere, he was very clear. Iran can no way in whatsoever have a nuclear bomb. And Iran is saying, I'm not going to negotiate because on the uranium. Trump is saying, you can't have the nuclear bomb. So what about the negotiations, Mr. Trump? Or 15 hours, too much of time. My guys don't have so much of time to go around the world and talk. We can't be waiting. So if they want, they can reach to us on the phone. And then incidentally, Trump talked about some paper. There's a document they sent us. I rejected the document. And within 10 minutes, they sent us another document. Now, who's sending the document? It's not Arachi. It is Field Marshal Asim Munir. He tried to make offer. The offer did not go through. They made another offer. The another offer did not go through, and the offer failed. And then the deal came to a stalemate, and it was a breaking point. Arachi went and said, "We are not ready to talk." Though Arachi wanted to cut a deal, Pakistanis tried. Pakistanis could not cut a deal, and now Trump is saying, "Oh, we are not going to go to Pakistan. It's too far off." So in a way, Pakistan's fortunes vis-a-vis becoming the global mediator or the deal maker or the deal breaker have dwindled to a great extent, and Pakistan is really looking for some solace to hide. That is where the position of Pakistan is. Trump, initially silent, not talking much, suddenly started roaring in front of the cameras. That is typical Donald Trump. He roars in front of the camera and said, "Look, we are not going to do this. We are done. We have this deal. We have all the cards. They have nothing. Their leaders are gone. And today we don't know who the leaders are. And even they don't know who the leaders are. And even nobody wants to become a leader." Now, here comes the threat. Nobody wants to become a leader. And we know Iranis have already won. And we know Israelis have already won Mustafa, and Wahidi is on the hit list of Americans. That is what the Great Point talk is. And now Trump saying we don't know who the leader is. They don't know who the leader is. Nobody wants to become a leader because you know what he is hinting at. So there's a clear-cut rift, which is for sure within the IRGC. The ranks are divided, the power is divided. And here comes the secret letter. What is the secret letter about? The secret letter is very interesting. People like Masood Pezeshkian, people like Arachi, and a couple of other sane-minded politicians, including Mohammad Gilawaf, had written a letter to Mustafa Khamenei. Now you will tell me, why do they need to write a letter? Look, Mustafa is in a bunker. He is surrounded by doctors and nurses and people like that, and IRGC men guarding that bunker. Now, what is Masood Pezeshkian, being a surgeon, he's not even let into the bunker because they doubt, something might happen between him and Mustafa. And nobody really knows what is the plight of Mustafa. Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he partially dead or alive? Nobody knows. But that is how Iran is run. Now here, they send a letter telling you, look, Mr. Supreme Leader, if you're still supreme, well, at least the alleged supreme leader, the country is sinking, and few days or few weeks, we are down the drain. There is no way country can recover, and you have to take a call. You have to cut a deal with Americans because blockade is breaking our backs and really bringing down the economy. And if you talk of the blockade, 2 tankers were intercepted earlier. Today, a gas tanker leaving Iran was also intercepted. So Americans are really walking the talk. More than 40 ships have been turned back. And Americans are also going and hunting for the Ghost Fleet. The Ghost Fleet is a fleet which doesn't have Iran marked on it, but they still are used to transport their gas and crude and all. Now, 95% of the revenue comes from the Ghost Fleet. And the soon Karenge land is full, they might have to shut the wells. Shutting the wells means the capacity of the wells drops, or there can be even explosions, and infighting continues. So economy is in a pretty dire state. And if you remember, guys, this state was with Iran once before. When did this state happen? We have this Mustafa Khamenei, his father Ali Khamenei. Before that, there was Khomeini, Rawatullah Khomeini. When the Iran-Iraq war was happening, when they were sending 13-year, 14-year kids to become shahids and to fight and kill each other, then United Nations brought in a proposal. And when at that time, Rawatullah Khomeini was told the country is in shambles. If you don't take the proposal, it's a matter of a couple of weeks, the country will be bankrupt and the story will be over. Now, that time, the Khomeini, not the Khomeini decided to take the proposal and save the country. So country was saved. Exactly that position has now come. So will the good sense prevail? But so far, when I look at the things, my take is that Iran does not want to talk on nukes. They gave some offer. But Americans were not willing to take it. The Trump said, I rejected the offer. I got another document which was much better, but not good enough. I don't want to take it. So, but what is Iran saying? Iran is saying Trump wants a face. Trump has lost. America has lost. He wants a face to get out of the I have not changed the logo, man. So bad of me. Trump wants a face. He wants a face to get out of the situation, and he wants to look as the winner. Well, we are not going to let him have that pride of walking out of the situation as a winner. So we will do everything, so that he is the one who is kind of facing the music. In the meanwhile, what happens is Qataris are in USA. Sheikh Al Thayani is in USA. What is he doing in USA? He is feared after he saw the missiles, after he saw the pictures, which his intelligence must have given me, which has written that La Lafan is the target. He's now fearing that if La Lafan goes up, Qatar is gone permanently. Right? Trump's meetings are not failing. He's going to the Trump and saying, "Look, sir, I am with you. You take a call. Whatever you take, we are going to do exactly what you're going to say." And let me remind you, Arachi did not only meet Field Marshal, he met Ishaq, he met Shahbaz also. But surprisingly, Arachi never met the famous Khwaja Asif. Why? That is still a puzzle. Reza Pahlavi is saying, in the meanwhile, they have killed 40,000 of their own men. Now, when we talk to the Trump, Mr. Trump, is the ceasefire going to stay? He says, I don't know. So, one fine doubt is cast, will the ceasefire stay? Mr. Trump's latest position before boarding the Air Force One is, I do not know. There are so many C-17s which are landing in Europe. There are so much of ammo which is traveling to Europe. And Iran has got their ammo pretty much up. So everybody has their piece of the ammo up. That's not here. And Hakbi, the ambassador of America to Israel, is back to Washington. He's saying, look, their buddies, Lebanon and Israel. There's a wild kid who's throwing stones at each other. That is Hezbollah. Otherwise, the things are okay. While as Israeli attacks in Lebanon kill 4 people. But Hakbi says it's all okay, no problem. Even Hezbollah lost a couple of fighters today, and still the ceasefire is on. Arachi meets Munir, but the things are happening. Now, this letter I was mentioning to is a very important point, because this letter has partially got leaked, and there's an official notification issued in Iran that if anybody leaks this letter, you will go 10 years into prison and maybe permanently up to the God. You might be sent on a one-way ticket to hell. That is also what the letter is being talked and discussed in Iran. So letter means that there is infighting. Letter means there are groups. Letter means that the things are getting really out of control and the economy is pretty much in shambles. So ceasefire is shaky. Ceasefire is shaky. That's what Trump, just before boarding the Air Force One, said the ceasefire is shaky. Mr. Trump, will you continue the ceasefire? I don't know. What will happen to ceasefire? I don't know. Now, Pakistan is hit because Pakistan knows this is our last chance to rise to glory. Now, Trump has said, I'm not sending my guys to Pakistan. It's too far off. It's not about sending them too far off because he knows Pakistan cannot deliver the goods. So let me use a country who can coax Iran to deliver, who can pressure Iran to deliver. And Iran is very cautious with Pakistan, knowing that if we go to Pakistan, we have always been ripped off. Pakistan is a rip-off. And so Tayyip Erdogan is an option, Russia is an option. But Pakistanis have again played a game. That is why we have Arachi saying he left to Oman, possibly, and Oman to Russia. But before going to Russia, he will circle back to Pakistan. Still Pakistan wants to be in the business, because if Pakistan misses this opportunity, you are out of the business for good. So will Pakistan miss this opportunity? They will, because the Trump seems to be furious. He is not liking what Pakistan is doing. He's not comfortable with the fact what Pakistan is doing. And in the meanwhile, Pakistan is always that the dirty tricks department is always up to something. They're always thinking of new things. Now, here is a very interesting analogy where Pete Hegseth says, why can't the blockade and bombing go together? We have the blockade. Let's start the bombing. Not where the blockade is, we can still bomb Iran, we can still take down their targets. So why can't the Operation Epic Fury and Operation Economic Fury go together? That will be an escalation or a thing which will be proposed to Trump. Mr. Trump, do you want these two to go together? That's always the option. That is the Hegseth doctrine. Let's bomb them when you are blockading them. Infighting within the IRGC is known, right? Iran is really in shambles. They are having a pretty tough time. And the people are getting killed in Lebanon in the ceasefire. Still, we are yet told that the ceasefire is pretty much in place and Israel is silent. Israel is not talking anything, which is not a good sign. Or Israel is just waiting, let the things over. I'll go and start hitting. That's what I do best. I'll go and start taking all the people. That's what I do best. So Israelis are waiting. Middle East silent. No reaction from anybody. Everybody's silent. Everybody's looking to Trump. And everybody's looking to Arachi. IRGC, no bravado too. Suddenly, after Arachi has taken over again, the deputy foreign minister is out of the picture. This Ismail, the guy who was representing the foreign ministry of Iran, is out of picture. There are not a lot of comments coming in, but the stance is so different. Iranis had this output: hold on to your guns. America doesn't have a lot of options. That is what they are doing. Now, Pakistan is resorting to tactics. Pakistan is trying to be back into business. So Trump said that, we have the great work done by Field Marshal and great work done by this Mullah Shahbaz Sharif. Why? Because, today Iran and everybody in the Muslim world knows and believes and understands how Pakistan has literally screwed Iran, how Pakistan has literally smashed Iran's interest, and how Pakistan has literally entrapped Iran. And still, Trump and wants Munir and Trump wants Shahbaz to do that, which they are not able to do, is not they are able to deliver. And Pakistan, if he cannot deliver, then the Pakistan gets hit. The IMF loans start drying out, the interest rates start going up. You can be in FATF grey list again. Your all subsidies can stop. Your loans can stop. Mullah Munir's personal citizenship of America can be in jeopardy, and his families whose citizenship is there. And there are a lot of things which can go wrong for you, Pakistan, if suddenly these things start happening and you will get into a lot of trouble. So for Pakistan, it's a do or die. They have to somehow manage to get Iranis back into the game, and the negotiations happening in Pakistan, which Trump entrusted them with, because you want a jihadi to kind of go and negotiate teams with other jihadi because the frequencies match. Well, but unfortunately, this Facebook jihadi, which is Mullah Munir, he's not a real jihadi, by the way, could not really even get the real jihadis of Iran to come and talk. That means what I talk about Pakistan is always the Ajnis. So these Ajnis could not talk to the real Muslims and get them to to get them to the talking table, which fundamentally upsets Trump. And what Pakistan is resorting, they are resorting to cheap tactics. What are the cheap tactics? Oh, why isn't Modi talking about anything? This, oh, Indians are, why the India has not reacted very vehemently to that laptop gangs? Why India doesn't cut all the relations with Pakistan, with America? Why Indian diaspora is silent? Well, and there are a lot of people within the India who want that to happen. And because Pakistan fears all the leverage will be gone when the Indian-American trade deal is signed. There's a lot of money on the table, and there is nothing which talks more than money. But here, if I come back to the Irani deal, the stumbling block is the nuclear piece. Iran is not willing to talk. America and Israel do not want to talk anything except the nuclear. Pete Hegseth is the man who's happy and laughing. Oh, wow, it's good. Marco Rubio, no comment so far. And JD Vance, out of picture. I think he had his suitcase packed, but still waiting for the flight to go. And suddenly Iranis gave him a, say, sayonara, buddy, see you some other time. And his good buddy, Mohammad Gilabaf, is out of the negotiation committee. So the only fan of JD Vance in Pakistan and Iran says, you are out of business, I'm out of gear. Let's just go on a holiday. So that, I'm just kidding. That's how these things are. Trump looked furious. Trump looked in trouble. Trump has the options. The only option he has: one, scoot, let the whole region burn. Second, hang on, keep the blockade on. You will delay the war, still you have to be in the war. Fight now. Let Iran have a fighting chance and kill them, dismantle them, destroy them. And of course, then covert strikes are not up on the table. Find those men who are not willing to talk. Find those men who are not ready to play the ball and start doing what the Israelis are best at doing. That is always an option what you have. But let's see how much is Trump willing to walk the talk. Because Trump as a person doesn't want Israel to give the control. And what are Israelis looking at now? They're just sitting like this. They're waiting and they're watching. And Netanyahu must be smiling how the things are fizzling out in vis-a-vis Iran, vis-a-vis Lebanon, and vis-a-vis Hamas. And Netanyahu knows that how Middle East works. Well, for Trump, it's still learning, it's still work in progress. But for Mr. Netanyahu, he knows how Middle East works. Only power speaks in Middle East. By the way, there's another great point talk I want to share with you. The ambassador to Turkey, American ambassador to Turkey. There's a talk is believed to be underplaying the American interest in the region. Wow, this is interesting. So for the first time, they are really finding some trouble with the guy. So this guy might be called, might be sacked, might be dismissed. Anything might happen with the guy, but we don't know what is going to happen. We're going to wait and watch. So basically, the deal collapse signs are there, writing on the wall. Trump is silent but furious because he doesn't know which options will he exercise. If he crosses the bridge, can he swim back? No. We know that there's a rift within the Iranian IRGC. Camps are divided. It's a divided house. The letter validates this. The letter leak kind of validates this. Ceasefire, allegedly, from the Trump self-proclaimed ceasefire, is shaky. Pakistan is hit. They're trying to get back into the game. Karachi has given the one last chance, okay, I'm going to circle back. And if I enter Moscow once, buddies, you are cut off the game. So you are no longer in the game. And when Putin enters the game, of course, there's no scope for Pakistanis. So Pakistan, if you tell me who's worried right now, the people who are worried is the liberals of Iran who still think that Iran has a chance. Who is worried? Are the Americans? How much are their military options? And who is worried? The most worried of all is Pakistan because this is their only claim to glory in last 75 years. And if they lose this, they are finished. Can Iran afford this posturing? No, logically. But if in my mind I want to become a shahid or a martyr, then this is the short ticket to martyrdom. So if they want, a lot of people will become shahids or martyrs. So things are getting crazy, friends. Things are really getting out of control. And unfortunately, I have to report you with a lot of conviction at my command, we are entering a dangerous stage of the war now. Things can really go north or south anytime. So what we're going to do at Bharat, Vichar, we are going to watch this out. We're going to keep our eye on it. And for our English-speaking viewers, as promised, we're going to report you the global insights, wherein we talk about the major events happening around the world. Of course, I forgot to mention the Europe. Divided house, Georgia Meloni says, I'm going to send the ships to clear the blockade. Zelensky is ready to send the ships. Russians are getting into the picture. Middle East is divided. Qataris have reached America. Saudis are silent. King Abdullah is silent. Africans are waiting and watching. India is not getting provoked. They're trying to get Modi provoked. Pakistan is trying to, somehow hang on to the straws. And China is waiting and watching how the power dynamics shift. China has already opened the Taiwan. Mr. Trump, if you play hardball, let me open the Taiwan. So Trump doesn't have a lot of options. And what is the deep state doing? They're playing with the markets. Deep state is playing with the markets. You will see the volatility. When the Monday markets open, things will be shaky. Gold prices will change. The crude prices will again go up. And because of this volatility, there are some people who are making money. There are some people who are making a lot of money. There are some people who will lose a lot of money. So it's a question of who's losing the money, who's making the money, which statement can make the money, which statement can lose the money, which statement is real, which is a work of fiction, are the statements which are only given to manipulate the markets and the economies, which are the statements which have the geopolitical twists and turns in it. Where are the undercurrents? Where is the world headed to? And what is in the Trump's 3D chest with 12 dimensions, where he decides a lot of things and where he is the one who only decides in America. And what world is looking is what is the next post coming out to social. This is not an ideal solution for the world, but unfortunately, that is how the world is. So, friends, I've been able to concise a lot of things. This is what the world looks today. This is what the global insights is about. So, I take your leave and I say namaskar. Before that, what I would really urge you is to like this video once again. Subscribe to all our channels for the very interesting updates we have. This is the Ethos of Bharat Vichar. I am proud to share this with you. And this is our portal. Fantastic, doing well. And let me play 2 videos of Sumit Peer Collections and Sumit Peer Advisory. Let me play with Sumit Peer Collections.
नमस्कार मित्रों, मैं आपके सामने लाया हूं सुमित पीर एडवाइजरी, जो एक यूनिक इनिशिएटिव है जिसमें आपकी लाइफ, बिजनेस, पर्सनल, प्रोफेशनल कोई भी समस्या हो जिसका हम मिलके समाधान ढूंढेंगे आप जूम के माध्यम से जुड़ेंगे, आप दुनिया में कहीं पे भी हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। ये 100% प्राइवेट कॉन्फिडेंशियल है, इंडिविजुअल्स के लिए है, कॉर्पोरेट्स के लिए है, और प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच टू वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स, इफ एनी काइंड ऑफ टाइप, इमिग्रेशन हो, फाइनेंसिस हो, कैरियर हो, लाइफ हो, बिजनेस हो, कुछ भी हो। तो आपसे निवेदन है कि आप इस इनिशिएटिव का लाभ उठाइए और हमसे जुड़िए sumitpeer.com के माध्यम से। ईमेल आईडी है sumitpeerofficial@gmail.com, और sumitpeer.com पे जाएंगे तो आपको ईमेल आईडी, आपको व्हाट्सएप नंबर सब मिलेगा। आप हमसे जुड़िए और मेरी टीम आपसे संपर्क में रहेगी, और इसको हमारा पूरा प्रयास रहेगा कि इसको हम एक सार्थक और एक बहुत फ्रूटफुल एंड की तरफ बहुत जल्दी ले जाए। नमस्कार, प्रणाम, साधुवाद।
Now, Sumit Peer collection.
शिवोऽहं 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 चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं 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 चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं
Friends, it's always a pleasure meeting you, getting to talk to you. English show is up and running as you requested. You can help us by subscribing to the channel, like this video, and if you want to contribute to our cause and to our platform, most welcome. On that note, I take your leave. Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram, Om Namah Parvati Padaya, Har 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 Mahadev. Always, thank you very much. Sorry.